The area surrounding Hathersage village was probably first settled in the Bronze Age, and there are a few Iron Age sites scattered about the area. And during the Romano-British period, there had been groups of small homesteads in the region, and some think the village's roots could have been from these, being a trading and meeting place for local settlers at this time. Now, the name of Hathersage is in some debate of the origins of it. In the Domesday Book 1086, it is listed as Hathersage, believed to mean ridge settlement, but many others believe the name to be a corruption of the word Heather's Edge. Now, during the early medieval period, it was also known as Danes Camp, which was due to the ringworks defence. Ringworks were medieval fortifications built and occupied from the late Anglo-Saxon period onwards. Essentially Motte and Bailey castles without the motte. Now, this earthwork occupies a circular mound next to the church, and it's known as Camp Green. It's thought to be a fortification built by the Danes in or around 850 AD. And the presence of this Camp Green ringwork suggests there's likely to have been some form of settlement in or close to Hathersage in Anglo-Saxon times. But excavations in 1976-77 failed to produce any conclusive dating evidence. Now, the village church of St Michael's, a gorgeous looking church, and it sits on a knoll above this Peak District village, and it dates from 1381, but there's been a church on this site since at least 200 years before that, and it's believed that Christianity was brought to Hathersage by a 7th century missionary monk. Now, this shaft of a Saxon cross with a very large base stands in the churchyard and hints that it may have been an earlier religious centre before the present church. And it's a tapering square gritstone shaft with chamfered corners. Dating is a bit vague for this stone, but as there are plenty of Anglo-Norse cross shafts in Derbyshire, and I have visited some, it's possibly Saxon preaching stone. As you walk around the church, you'll see a wide variety of crudely carved but amusing gargoyles and chimeras. These always get my curiosity. Now, the term gargoyle, as I think I mentioned before, is derived from the Latin for gar, to swallow, representing the gurgling sound of the water, and they're stone carved, usually grotesque, with a spout intended to drain water from the roof away from the side of the church. Now, a chimera is also a carved grotesque figure, but it's not designed as a water spout, just purely ornamental or artistic. Now, this is one of the main things I wanted to come and see in this churchyard. And it's a curious gravestone which marks the grave of Little John from the legends of Robin Hood. And tradition has it that Little John was an Hathersage man. And in 1780 it's claimed that a thigh bone measuring 72 centimetres was unearthed from this grave, which would have made Little John measuring over 8 foot high. but as usual the bone's now been lost. And there's an inscription that reads, "Here lies buried Little John, the friend and lieutenant of Robin Hood, who died in a cottage east of the churchyard." Their grave is marked by this old headstone and footstone underneath this old yew tree, and there is a large distance between them, about 8.5 foot. There are other connections with Robin Hood in the area, and there's Robin Hood's Cave on Stanage Edge, Robin Hood's Stoop on Offerton Moor, Robin Hood's Cross at Abney Moor, Hood Brook running out of the village. This all suggests there's been a long local link with the legend of Robin Hood. There's also a person of note I ought to mention, Charlotte Bronte. She stayed at the vicarage quite regular while visiting her friend in the village around 1845. And many of the locations in her most famous novel, Jane Eyre, were based on locations in and around Hathersage.